Right. I call to order the Parks Commission meeting for September 7th, 2021. Can I get a roll call?
Delaney.
Present.
Carson.
Present.
Reed. Present. Converse.
Present.
Hayland. Bentley. Otis.
Present.
Right. We have a quorum with 6 of 7 members present. Everybody has been given a copy of the meetings from Monday, August 2nd. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
A motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, approval of the minutes passes with unanimous approval. Any audience items added?
No, ma'am.
All right, we will then move on to number 5, which is phase 2 of Lost Lakes Park.
Yeah, so I want to start with something exciting. We found out last week that we were a recipient of a Wellmark Foundation small match grant to go toward that project in the amount of $25,000.
Holy cow, that's awesome.
So that plus the 10 grand that we got from Mid-American Energy Cares, to date $35,000 towards phase 2. That is scheduled for a spring install. Right now, with the wait time on nearly any manufacturing good, we're looking at as close to a March, early April install with the Iowa winter. We'll see what we can do. Right now, I have been given some plans, or I should say some bids. I was hoping to have some actual renderings to share with you tonight. Neither vendor was able to do that. So I would like to share some of those with you at a future one. I can say right now, $203,000 doesn't go super far in getting a playground set up. I did give them certain parameters based on all of your guys' input last time. I think somewhere we're going to have some concessions to get under budget. But some of the ideas I did throw at them are non-traditional, kind of a theme as well. When it came to something super specialty, that was really going to be wacky with the budget. So again, we may see some traditional pieces and some non-traditional as well. The theme seemed to be, it had legs, especially we're looking at a poured-in-place safety surfacing, so it's kind of like one giant sponge, more or less. And with the Lost Lakes moniker, we were able to do some coloring and maybe give it kind of like a lake vibe. But anyway, we're still working on some of those finer details. But yes, I hope to have some actual renderings of my recommendation for you guys at a future meeting. So, but it's exciting. Steve, you can tell the Lost Lakes. Yes, spring 2022. I know they've been told that a lot, but it's budgeted.
For real this time.
We're working with vendors. It is closer than it's ever been.
So Jason, I heard you mention $235,000. Is there a $200,000 from the city?
No. So what was budgeted? The budgeted cost of the project was $203,000.
Okay.
So the 35 will free up.
So $203,000 is the budget for the park.
Correct. Yes.
Perfect.
So that will be able to $35,000 will be able to use for
Other city
other
and parks.
other projects. Yes. So.
Okay. Awesome. I just wanted to be clear with those numbers.
Yep.
All right, and going on the same line of funding, item number 6 is Polk City Friends of Parks.
Yes. So mostly our city attorney. This has mostly been in her wheelhouse of establishing a 501c3, a lot of legalese, as you might imagine. We're down to like the last few crossing of the T's, dotting of the I's. And the big one before we can get final approval of establishing a 501c3 is having the founding members or the board of directors. So I guess most of us here in City Hall, maybe we overlooked that. I don't know. We thought we would get it, then we'd fill the seats. But no, you fill the seats, then you get it. So you're not just creating some abstract 501c3. You actually need people in place. So it was a learning opportunity. I guess it's common sense now that I say it out loud, but you just never know until you try to do a 501c3. So again, I'll mention up here, I know some have shown interest, but it's certainly possible to be on the Parks Commission and on the Friends of Polk City Parks 501c3. Tomorrow I'm going to send out some recruiting literature, and hopefully we'll get some folks in, and would really like to have something in place by Fall Fest on October 2nd. I don't know how realistic that is, truthfully, depending on the I don't know, the response,
Paperwork, yeah.
the response of filling a board. But excited for that going forward. I mean, how I really envision that is just, again, being a group that's an advocate for the parks, and really some signature fundraising events through the course of the year, a 5K, a best ball golf tournament, and then really having some funds to go after some grants, and then really just kind of some of that low-hanging fruit that exists in our park system. So,
Are you looking for a board of 3, 5, 7?
as the way it's set, it's a board of 9.
Whoa.
We may revisit. Yes. But so if you do know of anybody that's interested in being an advocate of the parks, please please send them my way, Chelsea Houston's way, and we'll get rolling.
Number 7, the review of the Fall 21 program guide. Everybody has a copy of that with their papers.
Yeah, sorry, it's a lot of me talking to you guys tonight.
All right.
So yeah, this went live the latter part of August, and registration is now open for all. So Polk City residents and non-residents. Residents do get a week prior to get in there and fill the spots before we open it up to non-residents. And a lot of this will look similar in layout as the summer one. So I'll kind of always have the same areas of preschool programs, youth programs, adult, senior, special events, and then just kind of some information that's good for the cause. I was really lucky in 2021, truthfully, like the last page shows. That's just a snippet of the number of people that have volunteered that I have benefited from, so I guess, in a public setting, I do want to, again, give kudos to Kiwanis for donating money for new tables at Kiwanis Park, North Polk Boys Basketball painted lines at Kiwanis Park, and then, yes, as their annual 8th grade service project, the North Polk Class of 2025, they beautified our parks in May before school was out. And yes, it's amazing what they get done. But yeah, that's just a snippet of what we were able to accomplish with the help of awesome volunteers. But no, I mean, so that's the fall brochure in a nutshell. I'm already starting on my next one, which will be the winter spring. So that will be more or less January through May. And May is kind of a transition month. It will be in the winter for some of the stuff that starts at the beginning, but then also the summer brochure that goes live in March. That'll also pick up on kind of March through August, September. So, yeah, 3 brochures in a calendar year is what my plan is. Yeah.
2 things I wanted to make sure got mentioned. The first thing is I did have a small group of high school kids ask if there would be service learning hours offered potentially in the early spring, like April, May, to potentially help clean up parks, get fields ready for softball, baseball, soccer, everything from, pulling weeds to dragging fields, because they can get silver cord hours for it. And
Sure.
It's hard for them to get a chunk of hours at one time. It's a lot of like 1 hour here, 1 hour there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's quite a few students that were interested in doing like 8 to noon and getting just
Sure.
one morning set aside. So along with the 8th grade project, it might be advantageous to, I don't know, if Parks board members can each pick a park and have projects out, or I don't know how all of that works, but maybe the Friends
Sure.
of the Parks could jump in on that as well.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I really wanted to point out, just so that it's like on camera and people hear about it, is that one of the things I thought was a really great idea is actually on the third page of the youth programs. The 3 days before winter break, we do not have school. And so there are schools out trips scheduled for those days for kids that maybe are looking for something to do on those constructive afternoons where they could use some entertainment. So something that you might want to share with parents that have elementary age kids. I thought that was a really good idea. So
Yeah, and that came from the summer fun camp this past summer. I think easily most kids enjoyed the day that we went to Great Escape in Pleasant Hill, and mostly it was because of the arcade, and if their parents sent money, they could buy French fries, and they thought that was the coolest thing in the world. But no, so this is going to be we're going to explore more of what they do there. So it'll be bowling, it'll be arcade, it'll be laser tag, so just a little bit more involved once we're there. So I'm hopeful that based on this summer that I don't think we'll have a problem filling those. So I hope I'm right.
$30 for an afternoon is a pretty good deal. All right. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You mentioned this is open for residents and non-residents. In the summer, did we have many non-residents sign up? What kind of percentage?
It was, by and large, I would say it was 80-20. Yes.
I'm
So.
just impressed there was 20%, so that's
Right,
That's great.
and it was a lot of extreme North Ankeny that we got. Then we did have a little bit of Slater, Madrid, Granger. So yeah, what you would expect. Nothing super far away, but
So just bringing in some into the town is an accomplishment. That's good.
and that's it's kind of like a handshake agreement with all of the, especially down in the metro. Urbandale steals from Johnston, but then Johnston steals from Urbandale, so it all evens out in the end. So.
Any other questions about the program?
And it's an ongoing invitation. If you guys hear anything from your friends or other little league or soccer parents of something they'd like to see offered, please shoot me an email. Do it in this setting. But yeah, I just love to know what Polk City wants. So yeah, if you guys can be my eyes and ears out there, I appreciate it.
I'd also encourage everybody to share it on social media. I know it's on the Parks and Rec Facebook page, but I know that was a comment that was made from a couple citizens this summer that they just didn't know these things existed. So really encourage people to go share that. Fall Fest updates.
Yeah, so that's coming together really nicely. We've got, it's going to be a pretty healthy farmer's market, seasonal farmer's market. So, yeah, just imagine all of the greatest things of fall being offered. We've got inflatables, we've got characters, we've got some games. We've really got some really good involvement from some clubs and organizations in the area. Of course, this will coincide with Fenders having their Fenders Fest. So we're kind of taking the family piece. They'll have some adult activities, and we're really just looking to complement one another for just a really big, successful event. What I wanted to talk to the commission about tonight is possibly having some sort of informational table as the commission to have the master plan of the regional park to answer questions of people. I should say the Polk City Community Foundation did that at MiniFest. They have shown a huge interest in doing a fundraising campaign for us, and we're currently working on them with that and what that looks like in terms of what they can offer to potential sponsors and donors. So really exciting stuff. But I think now momentum is starting to gain a little bit, and I think it's time to really get it out there as well. So if anybody would be interested, right now the event is 3 to 7. By no means am I expecting anybody to sit and answer questions on a park for 4 hours. But it's an opportunity if anybody feels compelled.
October
2nd, Saturday the 2nd.
I think that's a really good, and whether it's us or maybe if we have some people that have expressed interest in the 501c3 at that point, they can help do some coverage, even if it's just a half hour, that wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I would want to know before then is just, kind of a download or maybe some questions that you've heard,
Sure.
The foundation heard, or
Oh,
just
yeah.
something just to be prepared. I know it's been a couple months since I've looked at the plan myself, so I just want to make sure that everyone is comfortable paying information. To the public.
Yep, absolutely. No, I would not feed anybody to the wolves on this. We would prep you.
No, I think that's a good idea. I think that'll get excited, and then will kind of be a good transition to any sort of fundraising events that might be coming up. The Friends group. So.
No, and I will mention that the Polk City Community Foundation, they plan on doing a lot for this, so I'm very thankful. And I don't know if any of you have seen, they just recently started to market their first ever winter gala, taking place January 15th, roughly, 2022. They are looking to raise, their goal is $50,000 at the gala for this project to get started. So
That's January what?
I believe it's the 15th, but please don't super quote me.
It's out there on social media.
Yes, it's out there. I feel like the 15th sounds right, but
That is a Saturday.
okay, so I think I'm right. I think I'm right. So yeah, that'll be, well, I've never been to a gala, so I don't know how to describe it. I'm guessing prom for adults at TCI. They'll have a silent auction, plated meal, bar, and of course just fun music, things like that. So again, just thankful for them that they're showing interest in this. And I think they see the benefit to Polk City as a whole, not just Parks and Rec or Parks Commission. So it's nice that people are excited.
So if people are interested in manning that booth, did they just email you?
Yeah, I would say if anybody here is interested, just give me a call, shoot me an email.
Any other questions, comments about Fall Fest? All right, number 9, any reports or particulars from the council or commission or staff? Just you and you. I don't know if
so
you have anything to relay.
no, I guess just a few more things coming up. I've got, before we would meet again, 2 more movies in the park. September 24th, Friday the 24th. I'm sorry, Luana. Okay, I will remember it now. Luana is the sponsor and will be showing the new Sonic the Hedgehog film. And then on October 2nd, to conclude Fall Fest, the veterinary clinic in town is sponsoring the new Origins movie Scoob, about Scooby-Doo and the gang. So I'm excited about that. Right now, I'm looking forward to our next meeting, October 4th. I will not be in attendance, so if there is something, right now the agenda looks very light, so it's possible we could skip October. If there is something on there, Dave and Jenny would sit in. I will be at the Iowa Parks and Rec Association Fall Workshop in Burlington, the 4th through the 6th. It's for continuing education, just put on by our state's association. So they typically do a spring and a fall, a workshop in the fall and a conference in the spring. Yeah, just good to keep up to date, see what other people are doing. It's really great, especially for small towns like Polk City. Many of them are 1-man or 2-man shows. When you can get together and talk about what works for your town of 4,000 or your town of 5,000, sometimes just the bigger metros they don't get what the smaller towns go through. So it's really helpful to see what your colleagues are doing with similar situations and budgetary constraints and things like that. I believe that's all I have.
All right. Anything from the council?
I did have something to offer to the board. I enjoy working with all of you, and because I do, I thought it appropriate to let you know that I'm going to run for mayor of Polk City, and actually announced over the weekend. So appreciate talking to you about that and any support.
With that, I would just encourage everybody listening or on the council that if there are people running for office, whether it be school district, council, mayor, anything, just make sure to ask questions about the parks now that you feel about it. Throwing that in.
Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. So
Yeah.
Questions.
Lots of change happening.
Yeah.
So, anything else for the good of the cause? All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Same sign? All right. With unanimous decision?